Hello and welcome back to the Nasty Metal Pre-Toker channel here at YouTube. Welcome to another. No. Today is basic, or at least this episode. Well, it's actually more of not an episode I do all the time these days. I used to do them basically back in 2015 or so, with these kind of off the cuff, slightly rant videos. Basically, though, this one is also can be started as a little bit of an announcement, and that's probably what I'm going to get out of the way here, is basically the announcement before I go in to the more serious topic of this video, and I don't know how the hell I'm going to actually, attack this in a more structured way and more balanced, instead of basically, because before this I was basically going through my head how I was going to attack the subject. But since I was going on through almost an hour, and of course wasting a bit of the hour, and already kind of left with a blank mind of how what I was gonna at least remembered what to say or whatnot, how this was gonna come out. But still, I don't want to waste any more time because we're already going to about 1 minute and 25 seconds. So let me just get the announcement out of the way. Basically, since it's been quiet most of the time throughout most of November, since of course coming back from a trip to Fresno, it definitely kind of it winds you down a bit. It's a little bit jet lagging in some aspects, so I feel like I have to definitely take a break and definitely recuperate and definitely kind of build up that juice and stuff to actually really get in that space to really want to come back and definitely be again in the same shape I was at least a few months ago when this channel was definitely a little bit more active. So I definitely have to at least pump me back up, at least get me back up into that mind frame to definitely be more active on here. But so I'm getting into there, and basically all of December is going to be just stats, basically in a way more of a game of catch up. Basically, it's basically just getting it's all going to be reviews and stuff. Okay, it's going to be all reviews mostly because of, and if you want to kind of build up to that, since again it's pretty much the end of the year, so I definitely have to come up with a list of some of my favorite albums of this year, basically, and of course it's 2019. It's pretty much the last of this decade, the 2010s, and by next year we're into the next decade, and so there's already going to be other ideas coming up for that. So but that's right now I'm looking into a little bit of the future. So, and that brings me to finally the serious topic, the future of this channel, and that's by next decade. And already with the things I've been seeing already on YouTube, I don't know, is there really a future? Is there even a future for this channel? Is there even a future for other channels? Is there even a future for YouTube in general? And as you probably may know, it's probably on the whole recent change, at least rule changes in YouTube. And that's, of course, what we're talking about, is basically YouTube abiding by the whole government law of COPA. AKA, let me go to Wikipedia here since I'm on this part, which is basically Child Online Protection Act, which has been in, basically it's been, I guess an act of, I'm starting to not feel like we're using the same words because it becomes redundant, but anyway, it's been an act since 1998, since I was pretty much little, alright? I was practically, I don't want to say a kid, but I was or a toddler, as is the best way. I was that young in 1998, and because I was, of course, was born in 1995. But again, it's been an act since 1998, and so it's been in for pretty much close to about 21 years. Basically, it's been an act since 21 years, and already YouTube has to abide by it. But it's not new. Wow. They've, since, of course, looking on the actual Wikipedia page, they state, the YouTube side of the whole thing, they state that it was January of last year, 2018, that YouTube has accepted this movement. Basically, have accepted mostly, and again, it's been in law since 1998. And when was YouTube formed? Well, that was actually 2005, and Google bought it in November of the next year, 2006. So, I mean, YouTube has been pretty much has been or at least has been inactive for at least about almost 15 years or so. They've been around for about 15 years, and they basically were formed. Was it 7 years after the whole COPA law was in effect? So why is it now? Why now? And also by last year, why? I'm already starting to feel a little bit, just a little bit shaky, because of, again, this is more off the cuff. But it's all on again. But again, was it by November of this year? Basically, again, I come back from Fresno, and of course, they already YouTube. When I'm trying to I'm trying to come back into doing a bit more videos. They hit with their new set of rules, and that's being, well, trying to make basically abide by the rule of basically before uploading a video, or even just going into your channel and just marking down that your channel or your video is at least not for kids or for kids. And it all comes after the fact that YouTube has had this, YouTube for Kids for a long time. And knowing that some of the questionable stuff that might have been put onto there, and how much the questionable stuff that was kind of basically recommended or so to them, because after all, what's the first thing that a kid gets at 5 years old in 2019 for Christmas? What's the first thing? It's a fucking tablet. And of course, and that's probably the first time I've used the F word in this one, and I'm making sure that this video is at least marked for not for kids. Okay, let's get that straight. Anyways, that's the first thing, because after all, parents think that the internet is far better than what is at least being shown on Nickelodeon or fucking Disney Channel or Cartoon Network, like it's any different. After all, after 5 years or so of parents probably watching Joel McHale on The Soup and seeing that, was it the fucking little segment of what's that goddamn segment? What are the kids watching? And that's what traumatized parents, and they think, oh yeah, YouTube for kids, it's probably gonna be better for them. Yeah. Oops. I probably with that little gesture, I probably might have already at least roused a bit, caused a little bit of alarm. But anyways, I get to do what I do on here, and I basically have I made that. All right, Alright, this is definitely turning out to be great. But I've already made that aware. In the past 5 years, I've at least been on YouTube aware that I am a off-the-cuff, honest, and straight-to-the-point kind of guy. And I don't definitely sugarcoat things, so at least deal with it. Anyways, they think that that's better, and obviously they don't realize that YouTube, when it was pretty much formed in 2005, well, it was basically, for a lot of people, saw it as a great tool for basically to express their freedom of expression. It was to express their freedom of speech, to express their point of views and so on, and just be themselves. You know, it was actually just used as a great tool for that. But over years of certain people basically complaining about it and trying, and of course, again, going back to 2000, was it 2011 or 2010? Somewhere around there, we had the whole issue with the government trying as much to go after the internet, trying to almost make it a bit of a safe space and so on, and trying to come up with all sorts of laws to have Obama pass and so on while he was in in office, and so on and so on. And basically, they've been trying to break the internet for many years. And of course, now with all the net neutrality and so on, we've been through all that. But when a law like the Child Online Protection Act, which has been in effect since 1998, when it's been in there for about 21 years, basically, and somehow YouTube overlooks some of it and doesn't try and take it seriously, look what happens. Look what happens. And now everybody basically has to pay for it, basically, and have to abide by something that they should have looked a little bit more into and more seriously when at least they were getting more, let's just say more bigger, more popular, during pretty much their thriving years. They could have at least looked more serious, but the fact is, again, they ended up trying to take it more seriously by last year. But somehow, we weren't yet forced to having to basically mark our videos or our channels as not for kids. And so on. Or to at least mark it either for kids or not for kids. But yet that started basically by the end of the next year, basically by the end of the decade. And they've been around for basically close to 15 years. They've been around since 2005, and yet they still didn't give a shit. It's ridiculous. And the thing is, why I'm so hot right now is the fact that I come out of watching, or basically coming at the last minute of one of my, a guy who, of course, who's subscribed to me and who I'm subscribed to, which is Metal Theologian, on his stream, again, come from his stream, and during some of the last minutes on a certain subject, talking about whether or not if YouTube censored the chat room. And technically on his hand, it probably wasn't that censored, but I swear on my end, the minute he made it more apparent, I was wondering if I was getting censored on my end, and I just already had, was it like a week ago, I fucking marked my channel as not for kids, and so on. I abided by the goddamn rules and by the fucking law, but they apparently, I guess, while I was on a stream, they felt like I had to get censored. Even though I was already on another guy who I'm subscribed to, who's also subscribed to me, the Heavy Metal Gamer. I was on a couple of his streams, and I never once got censored, at least in the chat room, or at least on my end. I basically saw everybody who said, and since that chat room can get fucking dirty and definitely lewd and crude, I never got censored on my end, but I was on Metal Theologian, and who is, again, a guy who definitely can be just as honest as possible, and definitely can throw out the F word, basically, like it's a part of his common vocabulary. Same with me. But somehow, I guess, fucking YouTube decided that they had to, censor, and I swear I did, because of and how I definitely really felt like I got censored on my end, even though I basically had I basically made, was it when you start your channel, you give out your age. I basically said that, of course, I made it more apparent with them that I was at the age of 24. I'm pretty much close to being an adult anyways, and so on. And the thing that made me more aware when one of the guys or the people in the chat room actually wanted to kind of confirm with Male Theologian that he didn't get censored. He said the word fuck. Apparently, I looked for that comment, and I looked for the other comment that he thought was being censored, and I couldn't even find that on my end. So I really had no clue. So I'm coming to the conclusion, did I get censored on his fucking stream by fucking YouTube? And he's not the person that will ever seem to do that, so I don't know. So what the fuck, YouTube? What the hell? That's where I even come up with this, what really comes for the inspiration for this goddamn video, and why I'm even talking about this goddamn subject, and already I'm getting fucking heated right now, just thinking about it, and also talking about it, because it pisses me off. Like, really, YouTube? I'm fucking 24 years old, and I basically had checked that, was it 5 years ago, when I definitely started this channel, and when I signed up with fucking Google. I fucking made sure that I checked out the age part of it, and yet you, with your fucking little rule to abide by the goddamn Child Online Protection Act, which had been in effect since 1998, and forcing other people to kind of at least abide by your fucking rules, you still have a way of trying to screw others? Are you this serious? It's ridiculous. So I really have no. I mean, it's gone on for about 15 minutes, basically over a little 15 minutes, and already I'm a little bit hot. And I think I don't know. Did I really say everything that I had to say and got it? Did I get it off my chest? I don't know. But this brings me to this. And again, I could go on for other hours how this really, in a way, just add to the fact that YouTube has been broken. It's a broken system. I mean, right now, this is one of the things I was going through my head before starting this video, and I wanted to definitely bring up during this, was the fact that YouTube was it by 5 years ago or so, or around 4 years ago, is when things really started to get broken. I mean, of course, if you're watching this, you're probably going to say not quite true. It's been probably the seeds basically being planted for a lot of the broken stuff within YouTube's system and so on. Probably goes back as whenever you probably are about to bring up, if you ever decide to comment on this, if you take the time. But still, I mean, we can go into from the broken ass fair use system to, of course, the fucking sensitive as all fuck automated bot system, which again is just as sensitive as thin fucking glass. The minute you touch it, it's about to break. That's how sensitive the goddamn automated bot system, because they basically have to rely on bots most of the time to basically check whether a video is either got this in it before it's okay to at least be allowed for viewer. Or at least be allowed for this without getting hit with this, and you can just at least come up with your little idea what I might be talking about what is in there. It's ridiculous. And I've already used that word about redundancy, but it's just the best way to really kind of sum up how the state of YouTube that it's in. And right now, I have no clue whether or not if YouTube is going to last longer than how long it's lasted. I don't know if it's going to last any more longer with the way YouTube, how broken it's felt, and all with the old recent them abiding by the COPA law and so on. I don't know how much longer YouTube is about to. And also, before you come in here and also say that, well, it's the law. Well, like, again, if you didn't pay attention to what I was saying throughout the early part of this video, this law has been in since 1998, and YouTube started, or at least were founded, in 2005. They've been on for a long time. They knew how important a law such as this is, and yet they now have to abide by it, and now they decide to. It's rather utterly ridiculous. And I think that they should have been. So really, I don't know how much longer I can go with this conversation, and really, and with the way how serious I actually am in this video. I don't know how much longer I can go on with YouTube, and I don't know how much longer YouTube's going to be on before I even decide if I want to ever end the channel. It's just that I feel it's that bad. And I think it's getting, by each year, it gets worse and worse and worse. So, with that, I hope you at least soldiered on through almost this little, around 20-minute long video, even though it's 19 minutes in, but still, it's long, because, again, I had quite a bit to say. This is a serious freaking subject, and I think YouTube should have been more serious about this from the beginning, and should have realized, but again, it's Google. Google bought YouTube in November of 2006. They obviously haven't cared since then. So why the hell should they care if YouTube decides to go down the shitter? So with that, hope y'all at least took the time to at least watch this. Still, from here on out, I'm definitely gonna be. It's definitely gonna be what fucking roses and sunshines and so on. It's gonna be a little bit more happier, talking about albums, reviewing stuff, and so on. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you did. Because I certainly obviously did not enjoy having to come on YouTube for, again, after a week or so, putting up an Album of the Week video, which do not expect another Album of the Week video until the beginning of next year, okay? I just wanted to point that one out real quick. But again, I don't enjoy that. And I don't enjoy coming back from a trip, go on the YouTube and saying what rules they now have to change and what new rules they have to set in. I don't like it. And I mean, sure, I have no problem abiding by it, but at the same time, for a lot of the circumstance and what basically the whole ideas and the whole thing surrounding, or at least going behind it, that right there doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't. So with that, this Heavy Thrash has Sam out, and I'll see you all later. Take care, everyone, and enjoy your week. I'm certainly am. Take care.